Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@5starbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV.
Five-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
Healthcare is evolving rapidly, and future leaders must adapt swiftly. Dr. Sandra Dunbar Smalley shares her journey from clinician to chief learning officer, highlighting the essence of modern leadership. Transitioning from the clinical floor to the executive suite requires more than just expertise. Dr. Dunbar Smalley emphasizes that leadership today isn't about having all the answers. It's about fostering environments where innovation, learning, and human connection can thrive. While mentors provide invaluable guidance, sponsors are crucial for creating opportunities. Dr. Dunbar Smalley underscores the importance of both in navigating the path to leadership. Many leaders, including Dr. Dunbar Smalley, experience imposter syndrome. Yet, they continue to step forward, embracing challenges and growing through them. Discover the 3 pillars transforming healthcare leadership: leading self, leading others, and leading results. These principles guide leaders in creating impactful change. Don't just listen, lead. Subscribe now to Follow the Brand podcast.
Sometimes when you have a particular skill set, you may not even feel you can move in different avenues, but someone will see that. So I think there are 2 camps of people: those that really want to climb that ladder and they're very eager to do it. And then there are those that I call the reluctant leader, where doors may be open and you have to choose whether you're going to go into them. And so I'm in that second camp where I've really just accepted and felt very blessed that people have said, I'd like to give you this opportunity.
Welcome, everybody, to the Follow Brand podcast. We are going to take this all the way to Central Florida in Orlando. I love Orlando. I always like going there. I've had great experiences there. Here we are right now in what we call the winter. Now, the winter in Orlando and South Florida, where I am, lasts about 3 days. So this is one of the days of winter, and that's why, I've got my jacket, and and she's got a little turtleneck on. He's like, that doesn't look like Orlando, Florida, but it is Orlando, Florida. We're going to have a candid conversation with Sandra Dunbar. She's talking to us about occupational therapy. Now, a lot of people have heard about therapy and this and that, but occupational therapy is a little bit different, and she does it for hospital systems and helps them and their people to get aligned with their career trajectory. So, Sandy, you'd like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you so much, Grant. I am Sandy Dunbar Smalley, and I am currently the Chief Learning Officer for Advent Health University and Advent Health Organization. We're now 100,000 employees. So Chief Learning Officer spans beyond the university to the entire organization. But I'm originally from California, and I did my undergrad degree in occupational therapy, as Grant said, and also a graduate degree. But then I went down a different road with public administration. So I combined healthcare and administration for the roles that I've been in the last few years, and I love it. I'm passionate about helping people develop as well as ensuring that we have a top-notch healthcare system.
I love it. Now you got to unpack this. I would say I'm a novice, so I said occupational therapy. I'm like, all right, help me understand, what is occupational therapy?
Occupational therapy is a health profession that focuses on what do people really want to engage in their life. So we consider anything, any purposeful, meaningful activity that you engage in is occupation. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm brushing my teeth, that's an occupation. I drive to work, that's an occupation. So when I'm injured, or if I have a mental health aspect that is a barrier to me functioning well in those occupations, that's when an occupational therapist may be very helpful to intervene to help me get back to those occupations.
Man, you put that in such terms. I understood that. Yeah, you had you had a disruption in your normal flow of your occupation, as you said, and then what you do is help people get back on track, right?
Yes, they could have a stroke, they could have been born with a developmental disability, or they could have a mental health difference. And so we help you to engage in everyday life as best as you possibly can.
Now, let me ask you this. Let's just say, and you've done some changes in occupation, and your occupation for, let's say, for a number of years, let's say it was in healthcare finance, but now you want to go into a different occupation, and now you want to go into, let's just say, healthcare marketing, just say. So now you have this, is that a similar disruption? Do you help people like, hey, I got to get to another mindset. I'm not sure. I've got some, imposter syndrome happening here. I mean, is that something you also get involved in?
No. And I'm glad you asked that so people could really be clear. So, but that taps into another one of my skill sets. I'm also an executive coach. So that person that's struggling with, where do I go in my career? That's not a physical or mental disruption. That's more of, I need to really make some good decisions in my life. So we're talking from an OT perspective. It's really related to my mental or my physical health. That other realm is maybe I'm just not feeling confident about myself. Maybe I've got some tough decisions to make in my life. And an executive coach and or a therapist, a different type of therapist, a psychotherapist, can help with those aspects.
I got it now. I'm starting to get into your zone of genius. Give us an example of the challenges. Like, I talk to me like as if I am, a healthcare worker. I've now got a disruption that I've come across, but maybe I'm feeling a little bit apprehensive about potentially even working with you because I'm not sure. However, yeah, I'm not brushing my teeth anymore. I'm not driving to work now. And now I've got to get myself back into a position where I can get into my normal routine. Talk to us about some of the challenges that you come across.
Sure. Well, individuals sometimes really get stuck. And I'll really put my coaching hat on now. And it's fun for me because I kind of combine my OT knowledge and my executive coaching knowledge. But for that scenario, it's really digging into what are your mental barriers for moving forward? Is it that you have a new skill set and you're afraid to use it? I just had a session with someone just prior to our discussion, and they said, I never finished my bachelor's degree. And I'm afraid to tell people that because I have a good job, but I really am also afraid if I go back, I might not be successful because I dropped out before. So that's something that's related to what you're saying that we really have to understand. Well, where's the fear coming from? And when I asked her that, she said, people's perceptions. So we're going to take the next session and really dig into why does it matter so much about what other people think? What is it that you want to accomplish? She really does want to get that bachelor's degree. She really does want that feeling of accomplishment, but she's allowing others to really dictate how she feels about herself. And so many of us do that. We're living for other people's expectations rather than what is it that we need to do for ourselves.
You're speaking to the choir now. I see this so many times. I work with a lot of people when it comes to personal branding, right? And either there's one or two things. Either they're ready to go, they're gung-ho, they're ready to engage, or they're just timid. They're just very unsure about, well, Grant, personal brand, I really don't want to put myself out there like that. But I said, but you're here. You're talking to me, and my job, it's almost like the pool instructor, right? Well, you're here to learn how to swim. I'm going to have to put you in the pool.
Yeah. Got to get out there.
You got to get out there. So there's a lot of trepidation about that. They know that it's good for them. Like, I get it. The CV, the resume, the in-person networking, I've got to put a layer on top of that and really, tell my story. But to your point, I have all these inner fears. I don't know how people are going to perceive me. How do I know what I'm doing? Am I going to look the way I need to look? Or I'm not there's a lot of uncertainty when it comes down to it. They understand that it's good for you, but yet I'm not sure I can actually make it happen. What do you do? I mean, how do you begin to then unpack it to where they begin just that confidence and comfort level?
Yes, well, just as with this young lady, where I would go next in our next conversation is really looking at what's the history? Where does it come from where you're so concerned about how others feel? And is there an instance of you just moved forward with something in your life and it worked out? And really helping people to look back and say, wait a minute, I was successful in that. I moved forward. It was what I wanted to do. So really using some previous successes, because all of us have some, to really build off of that and say, well, if you were able to do this, how about this? Another step is to help them make new commitments. And, when we learn about habits and habit forming, which OTs work on with people every day, coaches work on with people every day, it's not the big chunks, but what's one thing you can do? So for this young lady, maybe one thing you can do is explore different programs. So just get online and start looking to see if something resonates with you that you could potentially make your goal. So that's not a huge chunk. That's not say you're going to enroll next month, but you're just going to know what's out there. So I would say taking steps that are really chewable, that people don't feel are big mountains, to be able to say, okay, I was successful in that one step, as well as looking back in the past and saying, what did I do for myself that really did work out, and build off of that? Those are two examples.
Are you feeling stuck? Yearning for growth but unsure how to take the next step? You're not alone. 63% of professionals feel unprepared for executive roles. The skills you need aren't out of reach. They're within your grasp. Imagine transforming from being overwhelmed at your desk to confidently presenting to a captivated audience. Leadership isn't just about titles. It's about taking control, bridging gaps, and narrating your own story. Andrea Clark emphasizes this at the workshop. Grant McGaugh adds, "Your brand is your legacy. This is your chance to shape it, refine it, and own it." Latasha Barnes shares, mastering financial acumen isn't just a skill, it's the language of leadership, and I'll show you how to speak it fluently. Engage in real-world boardroom simulations, financial strategy sessions, and interactive team challenges. Step into a world of immersive learning. Engage with industry leaders and gain hands-on experience through high-level boardroom simulations. Refine your executive presence in settings designed to elevate your confidence and your career. Enjoy an exclusive wine tasting and food pairing event, all while collaborating with fellow attendees. Limited to 40 participants. Get your seat today. This isn't just a workshop. This is your breakthrough, your transformation. Picture yourself delivering a confident presentation, the room erupting in applause. Feel the satisfaction as you shake hands with a mentor. March 22nd and 23rd at Miami-Dade College. 2 days that will redefine your future. Are you ready to lead with impact? Register now at 5starbeatm.com. Leadership isn't given, it's earned. Take the first step. Lead with impact. What happens when healthcare, finance, and leadership collide? You get Camilla Strother, a powerhouse redefining financial wellness for professionals building legacies. Join us as we explore her inspiring journey and how she's transforming lives through allied financial strategies. I've walked in the shoes of those I serve, balancing a demanding career, planning for the future, and still trying to live fully in the present. Her path from healthcare technology to financial empowerment is a testament to resilience and vision. Financial wellness isn't just about money. It's about creating options, building legacies, and achieving peace of mind. Her approach goes beyond numbers, focusing on empowering individuals to take control of their financial futures and live life on their terms. Grant McGaugh emphasizes, this is more than a conversation. It's a blueprint for empowerment, vision, and growth. Discover how Camilla's strategies are paving the way for a new era of financial wellness and legacy building. Camilla invites you, join us to discover how to take control of your future because your legacy starts today. Tune in to From Healthcare to Wealthcare, Redefining Financial Futures with Camilla Strother, available soon on your favorite platform.
You know, I mentioned compounding interest. Well, that compounding interest can work both ways. It can work against you on a credit card, where you can have that interest at 24%, 29%, and that will just compound. That amount that you have just continues to grow if you don't pay it off. And that interest it's like you make a payment, but it's not really touching it because now you have all this interest on top of it. You really want that interest in your savings.
That's a great examples. I use that a lot in a way that I ask people, well, what were you doing 5 years ago? And what did that look like? What were the challenges that potentially that you had 5, or maybe you have to go back 10 years ago? And what I'm looking for is what I call is that incident, the challenging points that was a challenge that you had to overcome to become the person that you are right now. And then a lot of times they realize, well, yeah, I was in a very challenging position. I overcame that, and it was over time. It wasn't like I said, it wasn't just overnight, it was over time. And then that you got to this point, and that gave them confidence, like, okay. And I love what you also said about you have to have the goal. What is your North Star? What are you really trying to accomplish? Let's not focus on the challenge so much. What are you trying to accomplish? Because the challenge is just something that's potentially in the way. It's an obstacle, right? But then you have this North Star that you really, the shiny object that you're trying to get to, right? Yeah. How important is it for you to get it? And what's the path forward to get there? I want to come back to you. what was your challenging moment? I mean, you said you went back and retarget and retooled, and then came out with this whole new self. What was your incident that caused you to do that?
It's just interesting. A lot of it was by default. So sometimes when you have a particular skill set, you may not even feel you can move in different avenues, but someone will see that. So I think there are two camps of people, those that really want to climb that ladder and they're very eager to do it. And then there are those that I call the reluctant leader where doors may be open and you have to choose whether you're going to go into them. And so I'm in that second camp where I've really just accepted and felt very blessed that people have said, I'd like to give you this opportunity. And it really hasn't worked out well when I've said, oh, I think I want to go for that. That door would shut. And maybe because there was a blessing in another door that I didn't really recognize. So I've been blessed with these opportunities where someone has said, I want to give this to you. I was recruited into the organization that I'm in now because of the things that I started at a different organization. So I think being open to those opportunities, having a different degree too. So we have a toolkit. And the more tools that we put into it are the more things that we can build. And so starting with occupational therapy, but then adding public administration opened so many more doors to me that I really didn't even anticipate.
What you said is golden. How you built on yourself and added to what your capabilities were, and then through that visibility, someone else saw value. And I'm sure the people over there at Nova, they're like, yeah, they did. Because I know you're doing some really cool stuff here in South Florida for a number of years. Talk to us about leadership and what do you see in the leadership realm that you feel that either A, people are taking advantage of, or B, they may want to take advantage of, but then they just don't know how.
Yes, thanks for that leadership. I'm so passionate about that. And that's an area I write about, I speak about. And I think public administration led me that way, but it also helped me to reflect on leadership positions I had had in the hospital that I didn't even know what I was doing from a leadership standpoint. But then I found out, oh, okay, I was doing it okay based on this information that I now have. So I think openness to learning is so key for leaders. You talked about imposter syndrome, and we work in my current role as Chief Learning Officer with hundreds of leaders, and so many of them say that they feel that, but they still took the position. So I feel having that openness to learn through mentoring, through sponsorship, where there's targeted efforts on a leader to help someone to grow and develop and to get into the positions. So networking, even though it's cliched and we say it all the time, it does matter when we connect and build relationships with people on that next level, because then they're looking out for us. And then when we do get those opportunities, never feeling that we have to have all the answers. Leadership today, especially with technology, we cannot have all the answers, but it's really important to know what our gaps are and be able to fill them by using people around us effectively, as well as continuing to learn in that lifelong process.
Let me ask you this question, because I like where you're going with this. Do you feel leadership is more, and you can answer this either way you like, but is it more behavioral or is it more knowledge based, or maybe it's a combination of both?
I believe it's a combination of both. I believe some people are born with inherent wonderful skills and socialized, taught those wonderful skills, as I was by my parents. I knew leadership just by watching Sid and Lynn in my home and in the community and in the church and on their jobs. They were very strong leaders. So that was my first exposure to leadership. But to me, leadership is not only those positions of authority that you may get because of your skills or your academic degree or whatever, but it's influence and impact wherever you are. So I could be a bedside nurse. I don't have to be a chief nursing officer and have huge impact. I can be an OT assistant. I don't have to be the OT making the treatment plan, and I can have a huge impact and influence. And when people harness that and really understand that power, no matter what role they're in, they are powerful leaders. But if I aspire to be in a position of authority, then I need to really be open to continuous learning, gaining that knowledge, gaining those certificates, getting the degrees, and having really strong emotional intelligence, which is not our degree. But if we don't know how to get along with people, we're not going to fare well in that position of authority.
Welcome to Lead with Impact, Vision to Victory, a transformative 1.5-day workshop crafted for healthcare and STEM professionals. Elevate your leadership potential with real-world strategies. This groundbreaking event offers an immersive experience, equipping you with the tools to advance your career and influence. It's designed to empower you to lead with confidence and clarity. Guided by industry leaders like Grant McGaugh, Andrea Clark, and Latasha Barnes, you'll gain insights from those who have mastered the art of impactful leadership. Engage in live simulations that place you in the C-suite. Tackle high-stakes challenges and make strategic decisions under pressure, honing your executive skills in real time. Explore sessions focused on fostering creativity, strategic innovation, and executive presence. This workshop is not just about learning, it's about doing and applying. Participants rave about the experience. This workshop gave me the confidence and tools to step into my dream role, build lasting connections with industry leaders and peers who share your ambition and drive for excellence. 87% of professionals report career advancements after similar workshops. Your investment in yourself will yield meaningful change in your organization. Join us March 22nd, 23rd at Miami-Dade College. Reserve your seat today and start leading with impact.
Anecdotally, from the moment I got into this position, the number of women, Black women, Haitian women, Black men, who have just come and said, you made me believe this is possible. Now I can speak too. And it's not about just appeasing, but they see the move towards inclusion, the move towards someone who can represent their voice.
Well, I think it's both exposure and experience. And you can't get the experience if you don't get the opportunity. So that's the key. But, it goes back to a couple of things. One, as I said earlier, well, several things. Let's put it this. So you have to sort of think through and be very intentional about what you want to do and what it takes. And then that means, obviously, to your point, you get your education and you get the credentials, et cetera. And what's next? So what next is, first, whatever role you're in at that point, make sure that you are doing the job. You're getting the job done. So performance is key, first of all, in whatever role you're in. And then secondly, and this is where we as I said earlier when we were talking, it can't just be you. No one gets to the next step just by themselves. So it is about exposures. It is about having those mentors and those counselors and coaches and people who will mentor you and sponsor you. And sometimes that's what we, particularly people of color, we don't have a lot of times folks who are mentored or coached or have a sponsor. So you have to be open to creating those relationships that are key, both internally to wherever you are as well as external.
So important that those things that I don't know how you gain that through just formal education academically when it comes to emotional intelligence, situational awareness, right?
Yes.
And then in culture building, because dealing with people, I remember talking to my granddaughter about this as she was going to school. And I said, you know, the most important thing you're going to learn, she said, what was it? Biology, is English? I said, no, it's how to work with people,
Yes.
understanding humanity and the different nuances that people come in, because it's all about not just who you know, as we've known this, is who knows you and how you can bridge those relationships. Creating relationships, I feel, has been one of the major challenges in the current generation and probably the next generation, because I think there's some dissonance there. But don't discount the fact, no matter how much knowledge you may have or accumulate, because information now is becoming a commodity. A lot of people can
Yeah.
acquire information. They don't
Yes.
necessarily have knowledge. I think is applied knowledge, something that you can apply, that you can utilize, right? It's a
Yes.
skill set, right? But how are you going to do all that if you don't have the right relationships? And what you're doing with occupational therapy and leadership, and knowing how to not only talk to others, but talk to yourself. How do you
Mm.
communicate
Yeah.
with yourself? How do you feel about those things?
Yeah, that's powerful. In our organization, our leadership framework has three components, and the first one is lead self. The second is lead others, and the third is lead results. So that combination really enables people to be successful. So we talk a lot in our organization about how can you be more effective in leading yourself. Because if you don't understand yourself, your skill set, what your gaps are, you're not going to be a good team leader, because you're going to come in with your insecurities and your lack of confidence and making all your assumptions and being very biased. And these are the barriers to good team functioning. So you have to lead self in a powerful way first. And I love what you said about it's not just who you know, but it's who knows you. That is powerful also. So if you've got to push yourself out, and myself as an introvert, that takes a lot, but I make an effort to get out into our hospitals. So I connect. This week I was out at one in Central Florida still, but the culture is so different within the hospitals. So I need them to get to know me and what we offer them at their facility. So we have to push ourselves out of our comfort zone sometimes in leading self.
100% on that. And it's hard. Just like going back to the analogy I talked about, you got to go into the water. And yeah, at first you're going to sink to the bottom, right? To try to figure it out, right? Then you start to tread water, but you have a coach there that's helping you, so you're not going to drown. Someone is there for you, So Sandra is there with you. I'm not going to let you fall down. I'm going to let you, I'm going to show you how to tread water. Then I'm going to show you how to swim to the other side. Then I'm going to show you how to swim back. And then you're going to start doing this on your own. You start to get your legs, right, as they call it. You start to get your stride. And in this new pool of experience, you start to find out how you navigate into these worlds. And we all have moments where, like, I've got to step out. I know this world very well, but I'm not sure about this other one. But change is always happening. These worlds are always revolving and changing in and out. And you are put in a position where you have no choice. You have to move forward. You cannot stay stagnant. Change is inevitable, and we cannot just sink back. We've got to pull forward. I love the fact that you just said you're an introvert. I have found, and people don't even realize this about me, I'm a natural introvert.
Uh-huh.
I am. I'm a natural introvert, meaning I don't really need to interact to be
Yes.
okay with me. But I've learned over time how to be an extrovert.
Yes.
And then how to even talk to introverts. Like, I know those feelings. You're in your comfort zone. I say, I'm okay right here. I'm fine, right? However, you have skills. You have knowledge. You have capabilities in which, if you don't share them, other people struggle. Because life is, I think, people is like being in a puzzle box, and each person is a piece of that puzzle. You've got to share your color, your likeness, your shape with the others in order for the whole thing to come together in a tapestry.
I'll go back to the part of what I was told. I was told that I wasn't good enough to go to college. So I would go back and say, don't listen to people that put limits and labels on me. Mm-hmm. Because there's something that a really smart guy taught me once. His name is Chaz Hartwig. I love Chaz. And he said, Daphne, there's this thing called thoughts, actions, and results. How you think will determine what you do. And whatever you do will create results, outcomes. So if you think that you can drive your car 100 miles on 50 miles worth of gas, then you'll try to do that. And then what'll happen is you'll run out of gas. So if you don't like the results you're getting, you got to change how you think.
And if I can be one person in somebody's life that could give that feedback or ask that question or challenge a belief that is going to reimagine their way of thinking of their trajectory or what they want to do, then that's it. I feel I have an obligation to do that.
Yes, and if we think about our personal purpose, if we're really here to help and develop people, as I am in my role, whether a therapist or the CLO or leadership leader, you have to be able to connect with people.
100% on the connection. Leadership is about connection. I just put a post out about that. Leadership is more about connection these days than just commanding people or telling people
Yes.
what to do. It's a collaborative fabric. Everyone has worth. Everyone has talents and skills. And you have to know yours, and you got to know where they fit with other people. You have a very good skill set. Number one, I love the way that you automatically made me feel comfortable. And they're like, you know what? We can share. Let's share some knowledge and some experience. Let's share some things that we feel our audience, our shared audience of healthcare professionals that are out there, maybe they're feeling a little bit vulnerable. I give the voice. I say, I'm the voice of the voiceless. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about these things. As you just said earlier about occupational therapy, there's people out there, they may not even know these services even exist and how they can help them. Talk to us more about that.
Yes, there's so many avenues to get occupational therapy services. So if you have a child with a disability that's in the school system, the therapy is an integral part, free services by law in the school system. And many parents do not understand that. Many people do not understand that most insurance companies will cover some therapy, whether it's occupational, physical, or speech therapy. So as also they're shopping around for insurance coverage, they should ask those questions. Does it cover for rehabilitation? If you're in a car accident and you lose the use of an arm, you need occupational and physical therapy. So you need to know what your coverage is. It's also important to ask. I'd also add that this hopefully will help people know this is a wonderful career. So many healthcare professionals may start in one area, but then they want to shift. So they may already have the prerequisites for going to OT school if they're a nurse, for example. So it's an important career, or they might be thinking, how can I support my young person in my home, know about healthcare positions that are not just nurses and doctors. We have all these other opportunities that are well-paying positions that are so meaningful and rewarding that people just don't know about. So I hope someone's encouraged to think about occupational therapy as a career also.
I'm glad you said that, because the healthcare ecosystem is so vast.
Yeah.
It incorporates just about all the other disciplines and industries, within it, whether you want to be in construction. Well, guess what? In healthcare, construction happens all the time. I want to be in marketing. Marketing happens all the time, right? It's always,
Yeah.
so you start thinking about finance. I want to go into finance. Well, guess what? Finance big in healthcare. Yet they are challenged in healthcare with retaining people and workers and top talent. Because I think there's not a big awareness. People think healthcare to automatically think, as you just said, clinical. It's all clinical, right?
Yeah.
It's more than that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have someone on my team who used to be a chief marketing officer. So this is his retirement gig, teaching leadership. So yes, so many different types of positions. IT, it's just so vast, and people need to recognize all the opportunities that are out there.
Let me ask you this, 'cause we're getting toward the end, but I want this, because you are in the leadership space, and think about all the different, either clients you've had in leadership, things that you've done in the leadership realm, some of the common situations, the challenges that seem to be constant in that realm that would truly help people on their track to make a better decision.
The challenges that people face within the healthcare system
Not so much even the
as
healthcare system, just in leadership itself. Like
uh,
this particular issue
mhm,
seems to be top of mind for a
yeah,
lot of people.
of leaders right now.
Yeah.
Multiple things. One is adapting to AI and how to integrate it into their lives well. The rate of information coming at them and the rate of change. So I think dealing with change in general is something leaders are dealing with. A third bucket that I can think of, because we talk to leaders all the time, so we're hearing all of these things, is dealing with 5 generations of workers in the workforce now. So I might be able to connect with a baby boomer one way, but a millennial I'm very insecure about. And then Gen Z, I have no idea what I'm doing. If I'm a leader, I might have those issues and not really understand how to adapt to different people, different generations, as well as the change that's coming at them and the integration of AI. Those are top 3 that I can think of.
Mac, you reminded me. I remember going to a training about 3 years ago, maybe even further back, and what you just said about the generations. And the gentleman told a story just like this. He asked us point blank, "What does James Bond look like?" And I'm like, huh. And then he just had everybody kind of raise their hand. What does James Bond look like? Does he look like Sean Connery? Does he look like, because James Bond has been 4 or 5 different characters over 50 years. So are
Yeah.
you talking to Sean Connery, or are you talking to Roger Craig, right? Or are
Yes.
you talking to
Yeah.
Roger Moore, right? You're talking to James Bond, but you're talking to a different flavor of
Yes.
James Bond. That's an interesting nuance. I mean, how do you that's as I think through that, like, wow, because everybody's going to come to your office and you're not really sure how they see James Bond, just as an analogy, and then you got
Yeah.
to get them to tell you how they see situations or awareness. Is that right?
Yes, and that's part of the learning part, of my role. And what we really help people to understand is you have to be actively engaged in trying to figure things out. And you've got to reflect on these aspects and then integrate them into your work. So that's our learning model within our system. So if we're not engaged in trying to figure it out, we're not going to be able to move the needle. We've got to read, we've got to go to workshops, we've got to talk to people, we've got to ask that person in the Gen Z generation, what is it that you need to feel satisfied in your workplace? So to be curious enough and not make all these assumptions will help us to be better leaders.
100% on that. We're going to conclude, our interview. This has been great. Before I leave you go, I want to make sure we know how to contact you because I'm sure you got 100,000 people just within your system and something like, hey, I gotta get her, I gotta get in contact with her. What's the best way? Is it LinkedIn or another?
I'm on LinkedIn, yes, as Sandra Dunbar Smalley. So that's a great way to get in touch with me. That's probably the easiest. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And of course, before I let you go, how did you feel? Now you've gone through the whole interview. How do you feel about your segment on the Follow Brand?
Oh, I'm excited because anytime I can share information that might support someone else's development, it's a great opportunity. I feel you're a great host, so that made it very easy. But I think the questions really led to us maybe helping somebody else. And so that's always such a rewarding feeling. So I thank you for this opportunity.
No, thank you. I like to be of service, and that's the goal. Are we being of service to our audience, and they can take that to the next level? I've had several people tell me that they watched my show, and it could have been 2 years ago, like, Grant, I saw you do an interview with a certain individual, and then I had an actual interview with that person, and because of the information that was shared, I was able to get the job. I was able to get to another level, and that made me feel good, because you never know how you're impacting someone else's life. This is beautiful, and I know right now, Sandy, you're impacting someone else's life. This has been wonderful.
That's awesome. Thank you.
And I want to encourage your entire audience to tune in to all the episodes of Follow the Brand at 5-Star BDM. That is the number 5-Star BDM, B for brand, D for development, infomasters.com. This has been wonderful. Thank you again for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Man, who's your favorite podcaster? Man, Grant, man. I love Grant's podcast. Well, who's Grant? I'm going to send you the link. I love
the interview. I've done a lot of these, and this is a great one. It's always great to talk to people who know what they're doing, and it's clear you're a great host, and you've done this many times before.
I feel great that we're having this conversation here. Met a new person in business who I previously didn't know.
It was an amazing podcast. Grant is an amazing interviewer. I learned a lot.
I really enjoyed this. Great questions, great talk track. Super appreciate you having me on. It's been a very fun episode to talk about a lot of things that I don't always get to dive into. So this has been a fantastic conversation.
I wouldn't be where I am here today, of course, not on this stage. However, not in my current business projection and my current business model without working with you.
Follow the Brand TV broadcast host, Grant McGaugh, as he visits with top executives and entrepreneurs to find out their secrets of success with their personal brand. Follow the Brand TV broadcast host as he focuses on brand development to build better relationships, bring value to your business, relationships, and career. You will enjoy listening to each episode that is tailored to speak to you directly. If you're looking for this type of clarity in terms of building your brand, you have tuned into the right station. Each episode will help you to shape a conversation in the 5-Star BDM network of 20,000 professionals and become a springboard for your corporate engagement and business opportunities. Each guest will frame their story in the areas of personal branding, business development, career development, financial empowerment, and technology innovation. Grant McGaugh explains why he is the CEO and owner of his own professional career. Grant is an accomplished business leader and entrepreneur who wants to give back to individuals to grow their personal brand strategy. Tune in as he weaves his story about new possibilities, while to you exceed expectations. If you love storytelling, this show will make for fun.
In today's world, where every voice competes for attention, true influence stands out. One visionary has redefined the landscape of brand building. His name is Grant McGaugh, and his innovative approach is setting new standards in the industry. Recognized among the top 30 global gurus in branding for 2025, Grant McGaugh is a name synonymous with transformative brand leadership. His work is not just about creating brands, it's about crafting legacies. Through his visionary strategies, he is helping leaders across the globe redefine their impact and influence. At the heart of Grant's success is the revolutionary BRAVE framework. BRAVE stands for branding, resilience, authenticity, vision, and excellence. Each element is meticulously crafted to guide leaders in building brands that are not only successful, but also meaningful. Branding sets the foundation, resilience ensures longevity, authenticity builds trust, vision drives innovation, and excellence guarantees quality. This framework is where data meets storytelling and strategy meets authenticity. From healthcare to technology, Grant's methodology is reshaping how industries approach branding. His strategies are not confined to a single sector. They are universal, adaptable, and effective. By integrating the BRAVE framework, organizations are experiencing a transformation in how they connect with their audiences, ensuring their message resonates and endures. Grant McGaugh's influence extends beyond frameworks. Through his best-selling books and the acclaimed Follow the Brand podcast, he shares insights and strategies that empower leaders to elevate their brand presence. These resources are a testament to his commitment to shaping the future of branding. Grant McGaugh is not just influencing the present, he is shaping the future of brand influence. His work is a beacon for those seeking to lead with purpose and impact. By embracing his methodologies, leaders are equipped to navigate the complexities of modern branding with confidence and clarity. Discover the BRAVE approach to brand leadership and unlock the potential of your brand. At 5-Star BDM, where vision meets results, Grant McGaugh invites you to embark on a journey of transformation. Experience the power of strategic branding and redefine your impact in the world.
Ready to build a 5-star brand that stands out and captivates? Discover the art of crafting a strong and memorable brand identity. From choosing the right colors to making your brand unforgettable on social media, we guide you every step of the way. Learn how to design a brand that resonates deeply with your audience, ensuring they not only remember but love your brand. Whether it's enhancing visual appeal or mastering social platforms, we have got you covered. Dive into the world of impactful branding with us and see the difference. Follow the brand for more insights and expert tips. Don't just be seen, be remembered. Join us now. Ready to elevate your brand and make a lasting impact? Dive into the world of the Follow brand where insights meet action. Shop now at our e-commerce store for exclusive merchandise that speaks to you. Transform, engage, and soar with 5-Star BDM. Your journey to brand brilliance begins today. The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K-12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. Please, you may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund or use the Cash App at $BDXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. Please donate to the Black Business Expo USA Scholarship Fund.
Grant, I'll tell you why I'm here, right? I'm here because I love your brand.
Thank you.
When we started chatting on LinkedIn, we connected. I checked you out and I go, man, this guy knows what he's talking about. And that's why it's been an honor to be part of this podcast because number one, I love to connect with you because I think you're a star. And number two, it's, for me, I want to give back, right? So this is moments like this where I meet with a fellow professional and we sit down and we talk and we provide value to the world.
Welcome to Follow the Brand, where we turn leaders into legends. I'm Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM. Today, we're not just talking about executive presence, we're going to transform yours. Executive presence isn't about power, it's about trust. And here's the good news. You can build it at any level. Let's dive into how you can command any room you enter. Dr. Kimberly Long, CEO of California Nurse Leaders, shared a profound insight. The moment you try to prove your power is the moment you lose it. Executive presence is about building trust and authority without force. It's about creating an environment where people lean in to listen. You can achieve this by being authentic and consistent in your communication and actions. Consider Dr. Long during a hospital merger. She lowered her voice instead of raising it, and the room leaned in. Similarly, Sarah Chen, a project manager, used this technique in meetings. Within 3 months, her team began to emulate her style. Denzel Ross, now president of IU Health South Central, built his presence by identifying communication gaps and lifting others up. These examples show how presence spreads through subtle yet powerful actions. Your action step. In your next 3 meetings, try speaking 10% slower and 20% quieter. Watch what happens. For team leads, start delegating key responsibilities. Managers should use meetings as learning labs. Directors build cross-functional bridges. The key shift? Stop being the answer person. Start being the question person. This approach fosters growth and empowers others. Patrick Green, CEO of UF Health Jacksonville, uses a communication matrix to simplify complex ideas. His 3-step formula: start with impact, follow with insight, end with action. For example, instead of saying, "We need to upgrade our systems," he says, "We can save 50 lives this year by investing in this technology. Here's how." This clarity builds influence and trust. 3 common mistakes: reactivity, over-explaining, and imposter syndrome. When challenged, take a slow sip of water to respond thoughtfully. Instead of defending every detail, offer a headline first. Dr. Long still gets nervous before board meetings but prepares thoroughly. Remember, nervousness is energy. Executive presence isn't a destination, it's a practice. Start where you are, use what you have, and build from there.
When you deliver on your promise and you have the result you were looking for, and everybody in the room is like, wow, this is what we're talking about.
Welcome to Lead with Impact, Vision to Victory, a transformative 1.5-day workshop crafted for healthcare and STEM professionals. Elevate your leadership potential with real-world strategies. This groundbreaking event offers an immersive experience, equipping you with the tools to advance your career and influence. It's designed to empower you to lead with confidence and clarity. Guided by industry leaders like Grant McGaugh, Andrea Clark, and Latasha Barnes, you'll gain insights from those who have mastered the art of impactful leadership. Engage in live simulations that place you in the C-suite. Tackle high-stakes challenges and make strategic decisions under pressure, honing your executive skills in real time. Explore sessions focused on fostering creativity, strategic innovation, and executive presence. This workshop is not just about learning, it's about doing and applying. Participants rave about the experience. This workshop gave me the confidence and tools to step into my dream role, build lasting connections with industry leaders and peers who share your ambition and drive for excellence. 87% of professionals report career advancements after similar workshops. Your investment in yourself will yield meaningful change in your organization. Join us March 22nd and 23rd at Miami-Dade College. Reserve your seat today and start leading with impact.
Tune in for our next show or click on our website at www.5starbdm/followthebrandtv. Thank you.